The blacksmith and the mindset of making money. Long ago, in a small village nestled at the foot of a mountain, there lived a young man named In. He was born into a poor family. His father worked in the fields. His mother sold vegetables in the market. From childhood, In had heard the same phrase over and over again. As long as you work hard and stay diligent, you'll always have enough to live. His parents believed in that all their lives. They worked from dawn until late at night. During harvest season, his father bent his back in the fields, while his mother hurried to weigh bunches of vegetables for the morning market. Life was never desperate, but neither was it comfortable. When In grew older, he learned the trade of blacksmithing. The work was exhausting, hammering down on glowing red iron every day. Sweat poured down his back, and the clanging of hammers echoed through the workshop. In return, he received just enough money each month to cover his living expenses and help his parents. And thought to himself, "My life will probably end up like my parents, working tirelessly every day, having just enough to live, but never escaping this endless cycle." Meeting the old blacksmith. One afternoon, while In was working, an old retired blacksmith came by. He had left the forge years ago, but was still respected by everyone in the village for his craftsmanship. He watched In hammering away and asked, "How many hoes can you forge in a day?" "About 3, maybe 4 if I work really hard," In replied. "And how much does your master pay you for each one?" "Just a few coins. The more I make, the more I earn." The old man was silent for a moment, then asked, "And tell me, how many hoes will you forge in your entire lifetime?" And froze. He had never thought about it. Perhaps a few thousand? And after a few thousand hoes, when your arms are weak and your body is old, how will you live? That question struck him deeply. For the first time, he realized the harsh truth: human labor is limited. If all he did was trade strength for money, then one day, when he had no strength left, he would have no money either. The old man looked into his eyes and said, "Don't just think about working harder. Think about how to do something once that keeps creating value over and over. That is the true mindset of making money." That night, And couldn't sleep. The old man's words echoed in his mind like hammer strikes on an anvil. Stepping out of the shadow of working for wages. The next day, And stopped blindly hammering and began to observe. He noticed something. Villagers often had to walk miles away to buy farming tools. Many people didn't bother, choosing to keep using old, dull ones instead. And thought, "If I open a small shop right here in the village, they'll save time, and I can sell more." He scraped together his meager savings, borrowed a little from friends, and set up a small stall in front of his house. At first, he only had a few hoes, knives, and sickles, but customers began to come. They were glad to buy nearby, and In was glad his idea was working. That was the first lesson In learned: opportunity doesn't come from muscle, but from recognizing other people's needs. The first challenge. But success never comes without obstacles. Soon, another man in the village opened a similar shop. He sold tools cheaper than In's, and customers started drifting away. And felt lost. He thought he was on the right track, yet now he was about to fail. Then he remembered the old man's words. "Use your mind, not just your hands." Instead of lowering his prices, and decided to add value. Every tool purchased at In's shop came with a 1-month warranty. If it broke, he would repair it for free. Each item also came with a sharpening stone as a gift. Customers slowly returned. They realized In's shop gave them peace of mind, not just products. That was when In understood: a great moneymaker is not the one who sells the cheapest, but the one who creates the most value. Expanding, learning to let money make money. Years passed, and In's shop grew. He hired assistants and opened stalls in nearby villages. But soon, he found himself exhausted again. If he tried to do everything himself, he would collapse. So In learned to delegate. He hired managers to run the shops while he focused on sourcing supplies and expanding. For the first time in his life, In experienced something new. Even when he wasn't working, money was still coming in. He realized another great truth. Don't just work in your business, work on your business. The wise don't just labor, they build systems that keep running even without them. The necessary failures. But the journey was never a straight line. Once, and invested almost all his savings into building a large forge. He believed bigger meant better. But he had overlooked one thing: the local demand wasn't enough. The forge ran at a loss, and then lost nearly half his fortune. He was crushed, ready to give up. Then he remembered the old man's words. Failure isn't the end. It's the tuition fee you must pay to buy experience. From that mistake, unlearned, investing without research is like throwing money into the fire. From then on, he analyzed carefully before making decisions. Who are the customers? What do they need? How much are they willing to pay? He no longer rushed into every opportunity that looked shiny. Becoming a teacher. Years later, and had become the proud owner of a chain of shops across the region. People called him the wealthy blacksmith. But he never forgot his humble beginnings. To the younger apprentices, he often said, "When you only use your hands, you'll earn just enough. When you use your mind, you can become rich. But when you use the right mindset, you can build lasting wealth." One day, and returned to visit the old blacksmith who had once changed his life. The old man's hair was now completely white, his steps slow and unsteady, and bowed and said with deep gratitude, "Master, it was your question that changed my destiny. I now understand that the mindset of making money is more important than any skill." The old man smiled warmly. "Well done, Nin. But never forget, money is only a tool. The true treasure lies in the ability to create value for others. With that, whether rich or poor, you will always rise again." Final lessons. And story leaves us with 3 timeless lessons. Don't trade labor for money forever. Find ways to make money work for you. Observe people's needs. Wherever there's a problem, there's an opportunity. Give more value than the money you take. That's the most sustainable path. In the end, improve one thing. The difference between the poor and the rich isn't the money in their pockets, but the mindset in their minds.